G'day, AJ Mahar here. On the topic of what's the price for loving somebody with borderline personality disorder? How doable is that? Is it really doable? Some people still think it is. Some people are trying hard to make it be doable, but how's it working out for you? And the thing is that now I've seen forwarded online this narrative in general. I'm not pointing at anyone specifically. And this was more from a male with BPD saying, well, if you want to support and you want to love and care about somebody with BPD, you better be really strong. Because they're just going to, they do. They keep testing your boundaries and your limits. Maybe some knowingly and many not knowingly. But what's up with this idea that, if you're going to love someone, care about someone, or try to help or support someone with borderline personality, you just need to be an extra special strong person? What kind of a narrative is that? I mean, you can be as emotionally, intellectually, in every which way strong a person as ever, and you still can't fix a person with BPD, rescue a person with BPD, help them enough because they often refuse to help. The very things that they want and need and often demand from others, not all, but those in a place where they're still not learning much or haven't gotten any, haven't sought out any treatment or anything, they're still very much in this, mindset, I guess you could say, or young childlike place of demanding and wanting and needing. And like I said in the video before, need gets confused for loving you back, but they don't attach and they don't love and they don't know who they are and all of their lostness and all of what they're going through. You can't possibly be, quote, strong enough, unquote, whatever that means, to affect any change in them. So this is why people staying with people who are untreated with BPD or not working on it or not getting to a self-aware places about how they affect others. And even when people get there with BPD, they often still aren't far enough down the road to really understanding how to make changes. The problem online, the narrative continues to be it. I'm just passionate about this. I have empathy for people with BPD, but not when they don't take any personal responsibility. I mean, I guess I still have some empathy, but when they aren't realizing enough, like really incredibly aware and making that a life-changing situation right there of how they impact others negatively and painfully and beyond, and then I don't know, how could I put it? Well, should you even bother to be friends with or support that family member with BPD? I'm leaving out the 25% of parents with an adult child with BPD. It's a whole different thing. But why should you support them? Or, because you can't be strong enough to do this. And I'm not saying that, but this is what somebody with BPD forwarded recently, and it was a male. I'm just saying generally. The idea that you have to be really strong because they're going to push your limits, they're going to test your boundaries. Well, this is coming from somebody with BPD who I guess doesn't realize yet that there's a problem with any of that. So again, we see a lot of the BPD narrative online, and I'm not saying about everyone or anyone in particular, but a lot of this narrative is continuing to say, you do better. You as the loved one, you as the person trying to be in a relationship, you have to do better. What's the matter with you? Why aren't you loving me more? Why am I so upset? What is the borderline, narrative? Why aren't you giving me this, giving me that, understanding this, hey, don't you know that I'm really hurting and I really need from you? And then, okay, but nothing comes back to you on the other side of somebody with BPD when you really need 10 minutes away from some circular conversation from where has been going on for 2.5 hours, and you need out and you need a break and you have to have boundaries, and maybe you're struggling with that and you're trying to take care of yourself. They don't see that, do they? No, they don't see the many ways in which they hurt you and wound you, and in which you're losing yourself to this whole thing of trying to help and support them. Now, supporting someone who's getting help, really making change is a whole different thing, but still you have to understand clearly the difference between support and help, because again, a lot of that BPD narrative online, I know I've talked about this before, but I'm trying to be more specific right now too, that you can't be strong enough. It's not about how strong you are, how strong you're not. It's more to the point about how people with BPD aren't strong in their emotional, they're lacking sense of self, they're lacking emotional maturity, they're lacking a part of themselves, they are expecting and projecting onto you to have all this extra strength to deal with them, because after all, they're going to push your boundaries, they're going to push your limits, they're going to test you, they're never going to trust you, they don't attach to you, they want you, but they can't see you, and they want your love, but they don't know how to love, and they want you to attach to them, but they can't attach to you. What's your problem? It's kind of like cutting underneath all the other speak of what's being said. Some people with BPD online, as I saw a male do recently, actually just come right out and say this stuff. Like they're just so incredulous that they can't believe, and or being sarcastic, but they're still supporting that narrative that says, well, I have BPD. People with BPD say, well, quote, I have BPD, and so therefore you must realize that if you're trying to be in a relationship with me, I'm going to, if you set a boundary, I'm just going to break the boundary. People with BPD still, not all, many, still in this sort of really childlike, primitive, maladaptively defended kind of not even understanding, lack of awareness, trying to tell you, you can do better, you can do more, you can give more. Meanwhile, what are they doing? What are they giving? What are they contributing to all that you're trying to contribute in whatever relationship type, versus just how much are they taking, destroying, dividing, creating impossibility out of your best efforts? The more you love somebody with BPD who's still in that place where they haven't grown enough and they're not aware enough and they haven't had enough treatment, the kinder you are, the more you love them, the more they're going to hurt you. And then I heard it said by the same male, borderline online somewhere, well, it was written actually, but they were forwarding also that, again, that you have to be strong somehow to deal with this, but as if they just have all the rights in the world to do whatever they need to do. For what purpose exactly? What is it? They don't know what it is they're trying to attain. They don't know what it is that they're needing to find out more about in many cases. Because this idea, what they're really saying to people in all different relationship types, or even as chronological adults, age-wise, etc., but not emotionally, they're saying even maybe to a parent, it's like, give me, give me, give me. Do for me. I need this. You must understand that. I can't help this. I can't help that. Well, if somebody with BPD in your life, or if you're the recent ex, or you're getting hoovered, or you don't know what to do, if somebody's still in the I can't help it kind of narrative, oh wow, rethink that again. Watch out, duck. Because I can't help it is the capital V, B statement of all time, because they're still saying they want what they want as a chronological and perhaps intellectual adult who's still emotionally like a young child, right? There's that incongruence and that fragmentation in the ego of the person with BPD. So they want closeness, and they want your love, and they want you to be there, and they want you to pay attention to them, and they need this, and they want to live through you. Oh, that's subconscious, But they want all of this from you, and then comes the hoops too, in all different relationship types. Well, if you could just do this better, if you just didn't say that, if only you would have said this, done that, not done this, not said that, then I wouldn't have, and and you made me do it, and I'm like, people have to really, I hope this helps you to just think about this some more, because again, you have to realize I care about people with BPD too, yes, but I'm not a BPD apologist, and I'm not going to apologize for poor behavior and the ways in which a lot of people with BPD still, and even some who are more aware, they're still in this narrative of like, but okay, I'm trying to take responsibility for something here, but you still need to understand just a little bit more. You have to realize that we are mentally ill, they'll say, or whatever. And I don't even know that mental illness is a really objectively speaking, working construct that helps people get well. I think it's more of a construct of how to get people boxed into these things. And then people with BPD, believe the narrative of psychiatry. But here's the thing. It's not about you. If you're on the other side of somebody with BPD, it's not about you. I'm not saying you're perfect, but it's not about you, all this approach avoidance conflict, all this push-pull, all this I hate you, don't leave me, all this I'm treating you, they don't realize, but like I'm going to treat you like the parent that like you got to give me what my parent never gave me, and they don't know that necessarily consciously. And all of this is going to go on, and then, but like, they just expect you to be like, I don't know, some martyr, I don't know, some perfectly sacrificing person who's going to give everything you got and then some, and just watch it disappear down this vortex of never enough, doesn't change anything. Well, then I think loved ones and exes and people in any relationship type with people with BPD who haven't got any treatment, aren't seeking treatment, aren't aware yet, still making all these demands on people, not knowing it, wounding people terribly, need to realize that it's too much to ask of any human being. And then people with BPD feel like what they're going through is too much to ask of them. They can't stand it, they can't handle it. Okay, well, that could be true that they feel that way. But people on the other side of people with BPD, you got to realize you can't be the hero in their life. You're sacrificing yourself. You're abandoning yourself. This is what is at the heart of codependency. And I say codependency with no judgment, with no, it's not I'm not here to say, well, look at you. It's not a blaming statement. The thing is, people have to realize, and it's not easy, when you've invested emotionally in somebody, you care about somebody, or you love somebody, you might be somewhat attached. And I say that because codependency also involves often anxious or avoidant, different kind of attachment styles. Not the same, maybe to the same extreme as those with BPD. But the thing is, you can't be strong enough. You can't be self-sacrificing enough to change somebody with borderline personality. It can't be done. They can't be rescued, they can't be saved, they can't be fixed. You can't be, for many men out there, I mean this with all due respect and empathy, you can't be the knight in shining armor on that white horse that gallops in there and saves them and rescues them from their past and themselves. And yet people with BPD continue to write about online. It's not just necessarily what is said anywhere. And I'm not thinking of anyone in particular, because I get a lot of blowback from people with BPD who think I'm talking about them. Well, they take everything personally. I'm not talking about anybody with BPD here, referencing anybody personally whatsoever. I'm saying to those who are on the other side of somebody with BPD, or you might have been in a long-term marriage, like, this is heart-wrenching, gut-wrenching stuff. I don't mean to make it sound like you should just hit the road, Jack, But the thing is, these relationships do present on an emotional level for people, both people with BPD and loved ones, impossibility. They don't work. They're not healthy relationships. And what can be done about that? Way too often, way higher percentage than not, the relationships don't work out. People have to seek their own healing recovery journey on both sides. And so this notion that you can be strong enough, that you can give enough, that you can create change in somebody with borderline personality, if you just try harder, no, that's one of the most wounding aspects for loved ones of all. Because you might believe especially if you have codependency, that you all that you give and all that you put into this person is going to give you back something that you so need and want in your life. Fair enough, what you need and want also. But people with codependency, with people with BPD, people with codependency, not who have BPD, but that have BPD loved ones or are an ex of someone with BPD, need to learn that you are worth it and valuable and deserve to be liked and loved for who you are and met in a mutual reciprocal place, and that you don't have to keep giving like maybe you learned in childhood and maybe you're not even sure why. And that's what I help people learn and understand in healing and recovery process journeys after somebody with BPD or NPD for that matter in your life or whatever the case may be, with codependency or with these issues from your childhood where there's something inside of you that's wounded and hurt and beyond and gets more wounded and hurt by a person with BPD or NPD. And you need to know what that's about. And that's the family of origin work and the self-differentiation healing work, including inner child healing work that I do with so many clients and have done with thousands of people who've been in these relationships with people with BPD and or NPD or comorbidity both. But here's the message today. You can't be strong enough. You can't give enough. You can't change the course of a person's with BPD there, whatever they know or don't know, wherever they are emotionally. And yes, they can have wonderful characteristics and be wonderful people at times, but there's this incongruence, unstable sense of identity or lack of identity, unstable relational patterns. They, as much as they want to love, they want to attach, they want to connect, they want to belong, unbeknownst to many of them subconsciously, they equally fight all of that as hard. And you end up either getting silent treatment or raged at and just pushed beyond your, way beyond your limits. So many people, I've had clients, so many clients who said, but like I got mad back, or I said this, or I did that, and I can't believe because that's not who I am. But the thing people need to understand too is, if you stay in these relationship types, whatever the relationship type is, if you stay too long and you don't take care of yourself, and you need to take care of yourself first because you just have control over yourself. You don't have control over the person with BPD and they don't even have control over themselves. And you need to have agency and autonomy for yourself to take care of the issues and the reasons why you hurt. Because when people are over their limits, they behave in ways, even people without BPD, people on the other side of the cluster Bs, will behave in ways that are absolutely abhorrent to you. And then you're just losing yourself even more. So if you can relate to that, if you're hurting really badly today, if you're trying so hard, if you think that, but I've been strong enough, I've given so much, I love so much, I try so hard, and you're getting more and more hurt because you're losing yourself more and more, and you need to take care of yourself. So there is no amount of emotional strength or any right way to go about doing anything in a relationship with somebody with BPD who can't reciprocate what you're giving, who's in their own push-pull, I hate you, don't leave me, approach avoidance, conflict, struggle, and mired in all of the issues of what BPD really is. And at its sum total, really, it comes down to it being a relational disorder, because when they are triggered to this emotional dysregulation, the closer they get to people, and especially in significant other relationships, but family relationships, friendships, the whole favorite person thing, which is not an enviable position to be in with a person with BPD at all, because all of these relationship types and all of your giving and all of your caring and all of your attachment, be it secure or otherwise, well, really, it isn't secure with people with BPD because you're forming the wounded bond. That is the only bond that isn't really a bond that people with BPD know how to form. So you can't be strong enough, you can't love hard enough, you can't give, you overgive. You need to realize this is going to impact not only your emotional health, your mental health, your physical well-being, your psychological, it can really hurt people's physical health. This is not healthy on any level. And so many people can't just seem to pull themselves back for enough time to go, I need to go this way, and I need to leave the person with BPD to their journey. You got to take care of yourself, because who else is going to take care of you if you don't take care of you? So take care of you.